2021 astrology forecast. I'm Sandy Rueve with Intention Beads, along with...
I'm Susan Gidel, financial astrologer here hanging out in Chicago. And we're looking forward to an interesting October. A lot of stuff is changing in October, and not just the seasons and the weather. So
yeah, we're going to go through this. But before we begin, did you get your cheat sheet? Susan and I do a cheat sheet every month, and it's available. Alex will put a link in to get this. We talk about what's going on every day and share the glyphs. So it's a good little tool to have if you're learning astrology. And there's places to put notes so that you can listen in here or re-listen. This does get recorded, and add some of your notes or follow through when you're in that day, what occurred and how can you connect that. So hi Jane, you're here.
Yeah. Hi Jane.
Who else here? You're downloading. Oh, Alex is downloading the cheat sheet now.
Groovy.
Jane. Oh, Jane is. Okay, sorry. Also, I would like to announce my 7-day intention challenge. Hi, Amy. My 7-day intention challenge is 7 days where we meet for about a half hour every morning at 10 a.m. Chicago time. This begins October 16th through the 22nd, and it's free. This is a complimentary offering that I and Alex with Intention Beads prepare and have you join on a Zoom call and call your intention and your affirmation in for the day. And we do the 7 days straight. So it's a challenge. Hi, Katie. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Cindy. Hi, welcome.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Also, you want to talk about your upcoming lecture?
Yeah, I'm the NCGR, which is one of the professional astrology organizations, is hosting a weekend virtual symposium. The first weekend in November 6th through 7th. And I'm going to be speaking on Sunday afternoon, the 7th. The whole weekend theme is about Saturn and Uranus square. And so I'm going to focus specifically on the financial market aspect of that. And I'm going to take a look back at the 5 previous times that we have been in a similar situation now, which is in the waning square period of a 45-year cycle between Saturn and Uranus. And what happens with the markets in the last 13, 14 years of the Saturn-Uranus cycle. And I've got interesting stuff that I've found that goes back to 1761, since before the country was even founded. And it's yeah, well, you know, I just geek out on how the similarities cross each pass, each similar part of the cycle, and what was going on in history and what was going on with the markets. It's really fascinating. So,
would you say that we're in an adjustment period?
Oh, for sure.
Third quarter square, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I've only, you know, we're in the 3rd cycle since we've had the Dow Jones Industrial Average available. And from the time of the conjunction up to the waning square, each of the 3 cycles that I've observed, the markets behave really similarly. But the last quarter is different every time. And this one is too. This one is not behaving like it did in the previous 2. So interesting that there is some, you know, volatility, some adjustment, some different things going on with it, with each one.
How do people get, are we putting a link in? Yes, into the...
Yeah, I think Alex has the link to sign up for that. And it's called the NCGR Virtual Symposium. That's at I think the link geocosmic.org/conference should get you there.
Okay, well, good. I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah.
So let's kind of enter into this month. Hey, Shelley. We enter this month with 6 retrograde planets. We leave this month with 2 retrograde planets. So that means in this month of October, 4 planets will go direct. That's a big, big change, big change. And these are in this order: Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter and Mercury on the same day. So we're gonna go through this in this next hour. Yeah, we have 3 ingresses. We always have a sun ingress. The sun always moves in the middle of the month somewhere into the next sign. We usually always get a Venus. We're having that, but we get Mars is moving as well, and Mars is usually about every other month. So I have a first and second place for my favorite day, my conflict day, and my astro interesting day. It's an interesting week. And what I did, Susan, is I just looked at the month as a week, and I just want to really brief, just a phrase. For the first week, which is a partial week, it's like just getting started. We're feeling something new. We may feel a bit behind. But by the second week, we're noticing we're catching up a little bit, and there's a more of a upbeat, positive feeling. By the third week, things are looking brighter, but there's some edgy fray going on the side. And by the fourth week, it feels like we have to stand ground or down. So let's dive in.
Yeah, and I would just add to that, on the face of it, you think, oh, look, 4 planets turning direct by mid-month. That should make life easier. But when I was working on my market newsletter for October, it's like, not so much. There's aspects going on in the last half of the month that are dicey.
Yeah, and it's setting up November, and stay tuned for November. Kind of put your P's and Q's in order this month, because November we're going to get that Saturn Uranus action with Mars coming in and making a T-square, and there's a bunch of Scorpio fixed planets moving into that into that opposition and square. But that's yeah.
Mark your calendar for Saturday, October 30th, when we'll be going through all the November stuff and costumes.
Costumes. So I know I'm going to be at my mother's house on this date. And I just said, well, I don't know. I'm going to pack a costume, but I'll grab whatever she has laying around and put it on. So bring or wear your costumes, whatever this is, finding a wreath on the wall and putting it on your head. And we'll put you on screen so that you can introduce yourself. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get in. Do you want to start? We'll start October 1st, which already has occurred.
Which we forgot to put on the cheat sheet. Sorry.
It's Mercury retrograde. Oh my God, is anybody doing oh man, I forgot that. Oh, that was yesterday? Oh, I thought that was tomorrow. So give yourself some breaks here. We're going to give ourselves some break here too. But October 1st was on Friday. And this was Mercury square Pluto. And, this to me is like taking a second look. It reminds me of rubbernecking, something that you were always trying to look at, that something was interesting. So rubberneck something that is important in your life, because that is not it's a slow drive by. You're going to be looking at that again.
Mm-hmm. And, when Mercury square Pluto, Pluto's got that secretiveness to it. And in a square with Mercury, that can be when things come out from underneath and make themselves known. And so look at yesterday and see what might have happened in that kind of arena, like secrets revealed.
And it's not done.
Yeah.
Because Mercury's retrograde is going to come back up and hit this again. So we'll watch that for next. I think that will probably be the end of this month or next month.
Yeah.
October 2, today, we have Venus sextile Pluto. So Pluto's in a position in the sky where all these planets that are coming into this Libra area are making these aspects to Pluto. And this is intense relationships. This to me is like taking one step, but which way? Up, down, sideways, right, left, out, in. Which way are you moving?
Oh, sorry. Finish.
No, I'm done.
Okay. And of course, Venus, money, with Pluto in a sextile, it's like you have to go find it, but it's out there if you look, maybe. It won't fall in your lap though, which is kind of too bad given that tonight is that huge Powerball lottery, 600 million or something. So maybe that just means today is the day that you particularly, I mean, always with lottos, you can't win if you don't play, right? But today is really the day for that. With Venus sextile Pluto, you have to take the opportunity for big money in order to pull it in. So get your lotto tickets after we get done today.
So gather your coins for dollars.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, Sunday, October 3rd, we have this Mercury retrograde is making a trine to Jupiter. Now, both of these are retrograde. They're both in air signs. This is the second pass. And I call this strip poker, anyone? Let me explain. Because it feels like you have to remove something or expose something in order to have more show. In other words, you have to kind of for growth, for the Jupiter is about doing more. Mercury here is about, do you have to expose something that you normally would keep hidden in order to gain? So do you expose more of yourself? It could be spiritually, it doesn't have to be physically, but unload something so that you can feel more relief. But this is still going to be happening for a while throughout this month.
Mm-hmm. And I like to look at this Mercury trine Jupiter as a big megaphone in terms of announcing something or putting out the big word. And with both of them retrograde, okay, well, maybe you've said it before. Well, say it again. Don't be afraid to repeat yourself.
Mm-hmm. On Wednesday, the 6th, we have our new moon. And we're going to show you the chart here in a minute. This is a new moon in Libra at 13 degrees Libra. This is at 6:05 a.m. This is Chicago time. And this is, to me, initiate compromise. It's like, see what others need from you, then move toward that goal. But the how you do it will be your own strategy. It will be your own nature. It will be the way that you do this thing that you're asked to do. But it has to come to a center point of common goal. And Mars is sitting there.
Right. And that's the big thing with this new moon, is that the sun, moon, and Mars are all right together. So new moon plus Mars, plus Pluto goes direct later in the day.
Yeah.
So the 6th is a big day.
So let's share that chart right now. And that Mars being there with it can really be this uncomfortable, edgy, unsettling feeling. We've got this Cazimi coming in, here with Mars, Sun, that's starting this 2-year synodic cycle. So here we are, the moon and the sun and Mars, and they're all in the first house when this occurs. like I said, at 6 a.m. Chicago time. So yeah, not the peaceful new moon Libra, where it's like always compromise or always in a peaceful setting. Mars is there. So it says you have to like move it forward. So that's why I use the word initiate. But you have to, it's almost like how do you come to the center? You each have to come to the center, but it's unsettling.
Yeah. And once again, as I was working on my market newsletter for October, this is the 6th is, my top day for the month to pay attention to the markets, because out of the 8 markets I watch, 7 of them, this new moon Mars, all conjunct here, makes some sort of significant aspect to 7 out of the 8 markets I watch that could precipitate potential highs or lows. Highs in Bitcoin, NASDAQ 100, soybeans, lows in crude oil, gold, euro currency, and the S&P 500. I know that NASDAQ and S&P are kind of weird that they would be one high, one low, but it's just the way they hit their natal charts. So we'll see. But anyway, this day is really more interesting than I initially thought it would be, because of it's the Mars conjunct the new moon that makes it particularly an interesting day, let alone the Pluto going direct in the afternoon.
Yeah. Can you take the marker and the Pluto S? It says there's a station here. I want to show that in the 4th house. Yeah, and this the stationing direct happens at 1:29 in the afternoon. It's like, what has changed for you? If anybody has a birthday around January 14th, that your sun is at 24 degrees of Capricorn, this Pluto is stationed on that, going to move away and be done finally, probably a year or so it's been sitting there, but it is finally done. It, particularly those folks have any planet at 24 Cap, that something has changed, something has transformed or evolved, and it's time to engage it now that it's pure. It's kind of like done with you. Mm-hmm. So it says like all systems will take
macro perspective with Pluto moving direct again. Pluto and Capricorn's job is to transform business and government from what we had when it started in Capricorn in 2008 and before it leaves in 2024. And so Pluto's job of transforming business and government can get rolling again as it turns direct. So I think not so much styminess, more out in the open, more faster moving as Pluto leaves its retrograde position.
Yeah. Thursday, the 7th, we have Venus moving out of her detriment of Scorpio and into the next sign of Sagittarius. She's so happy. She really feels like, she might have been misinterpreted or dismissed in some way in her detriment. But have you been able to interpret a deeper meaning of what you are after and what you are willing to do for your desires and go after those new horizons?
Yeah, and mine is similar, to be free to explore what you love. Venus and Sagittarius goes, oh, thank God. I get to do what I want. I get to, if it makes me happy, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it's planning a trip, right? Planning an international trip. Mm-hmm. So also we have the sun making that Cazimi to Mars. And this is at 15 degrees of Libra. So here we are still in this mid section of Libra. And to me, this is a burst forth. Okay, I don't know, it's Mars energy. and Mars is not in Mars here is in detriment.
Yeah.
Sun is in fall. So neither one of these planets have real superpower. So if Sun is the person in charge and Mars is the activator, you know, the rough and ready kind of soldier, or it's kind of like, don't be shy here. Can you see your direction clearly? What do you need to get in? What do you need to get out? But you need to take others with you because it's in Libra.
Mm-hmm. And my note on it was to take action and collaborate with like-minded people during this period, where, you know, you're working together for a common purpose. And I've got the times for the Mars Cazimi. Starts on October 7 at 2:13 a.m. Central, and it goes for more than 24 hours. It doesn't end until October 8 at 7:32 p.m. Central. So it's like the Mercury Cazimi, where, you know, you expect brilliant ideas to pop into your head, and that's the next day. But the Mars Cazimi is like, if you feel compelled to do something, there's probably a good reason for it. This is when Mars and the Sun are so close together in the sky that it's like Mars is being in the eye of the hurricane. And it's as strong as it's going to be.
Yeah, and it's the synodic cycle. So it's doing a 2-year plan before it comes back around and meets up with the Sun to start something new again. So to me, it's like you said, if you feel compelled to do something, burst forth. Is it burst lateral, burst back, burst up, burst down? But it's like bursting forth.
Yeah.
Or burst, maybe it's a burst out.
But whatever it is, trust it and go with it, because Mars is Cazimi, and really its power is heightened during this 24 and 5, almost 30 hours.
Because you're right, on Saturday, the Sun and Mercury Cazimi, and this is at 16 degrees of Libra. So, you know, it's like, are we understanding? This is maybe, you know, the reasons that have been unclear or uncertain up until now. Maybe you have a little glimpse of why you felt compelled to do something the 36 hours earlier with the Mars being there. So all of these are happening in a 36-hour period. It's going to be quite and again, this is October 7, 8, and 9, kind of this kind of clustered time period. This is just a really, really big weekend. This is a big weekend.
It is. And the Cazimis don't overlap. The Mars Cazimi ends on the 8th at 7:32 p.m. and the Mercury Cazimi starts 12 hours later at 8:05 a.m. on Saturday the 9th and through 2:33 p.m. on Saturday the 9th. So you've got next Saturday morning into early afternoon, into mid-afternoon, to really pay attention to, you know, the thoughts that pop into your head. Those are good ones. So
and like we can add to it. And what's your reaction? What's your response? What is your? Do you release something? You know, this planet is retrograde. Yeah, this will be a really interesting. This will be a great diary writing this weekend, so that you can look back at it, you know, in about a month and see what that was and how have you stayed in what that was or understood a little bit clearer when Mercury starts moving forward.
Yeah.
But later on that day, this is still Saturday. This is that Mercury now meets up with the Mars, because that makes sense. If the Sun in the Mars and then the Sun in Mercury and then Mercury in Mars, this is, to me, like whoever's having a birthday during this week is really getting both of these energies. And, you know, this is to understand the meaning and to move accordingly. To me, this is like totally okay to take your time here because Mercury is retrograde. Mercury has to think about a little bit more things, and Mars is saying, stop thinking, let's take action. So this might be a day where you need to like hum or pause, even though you might feel energetically you got to go fast, right? So how you read this?
That Mercury conjunct Mars is the ability to actually take action on those brilliant ideas that you had during the Cazimi period, because the conjunction actually is after that by a couple hours. So pay attention to the ideas that pop into your head in the morning and then do something about them before supper time on next Saturday. And what I think is interesting too is that, okay, on the new moon, the chart we showed you, you saw the moon, sun, and Mars all together at 13 degrees of Libra. 2 days later, here's the sun, Mercury, and Mars all at 16 degrees of Libra. Like you said, these 3 days, the 6th through the 9th, are just like kind of incredible.
And these are my 1 and 2 astrologically interesting days of the month, because to have 2 Cazimis kind of back to back and then clustered all in this one area where really no one's really that powerful, right? In this placement. Yeah. So, cleared for takeoff, but where are you going? Which way, the decision that you have to make. It also makes me think that the Mercury in retrograde here, are you moving too fast, too soon? It's kind of like, because Mercury's still retrograde. Now he's past his Cazimi by this point, right? Earlier in the day, that he would have a little bit like burned off, purified, kind of gotten clear, what we talk about, but he's still retrograde. So, it's like clear for takeoff, planet, but, not all in maybe until he starts moving forward. I don't know.
Well, once again, the idea that you had of just, journal this weekend and revisit it after Mercury goes direct, after all these planets go direct in mid-month, and kind of see what the gems are that float to the top.
Yeah. That's just a really interesting weekend. And then on Sunday, the 10th, we by the end of the night, we have Saturn stationing direct.
Yeah.
So this is a time to get more, more serious, more gravitas, more like dig in. You kind of can get your plan together. Now I want to say that he sits here at the 6 degrees of Aquarius from October 1st till October 22nd. So he is pivoting in this whole period and doesn't move off this. This would be a birthday that is January 26th. That anyone who has a planet at 6 Aquarius or nearby, that would be like 6, 7, or 8, that this might be the last period for you to get some rest and rejuvenation before this planet starts really moving, and where it's time to gain some vitality, gain some ground. You're able to put some footsteps into the sand and moving along. You're not going backwards so much anymore. You're going forward.
Yeah. Ditto. When Saturn moves direct, it's like, okay, time to work. We're off. We're back from vacation. No more excuses.
We get to the Wednesday, the 13th, and this is, you'll talk about the Venus out of bounds, but this is Venus making a sextile to Saturn. And so this reminds me of just giving a push. She's in a fire sign. She's feeling more free and able to provide movement. And now Saturn's direct. So she's helping out Saturn by supporting his plan. And it's the other way around. So this is a planning social events, trips for learning new ways of being, something to set up new formats. Yeah, talk about the out of bounds.
But Venus is out of bounds, which means that Venus has the ability to be extreme in the way that Venus operates. It's like jump the fence that the sun sets as the bounds, and is like, oh, look, I'm not in the pasture anymore. Where can I run and go have fun? And particularly in Sagittarius, where can I go and run and have fun? So sextile Saturn, because it's out of bounds, my note about it here was to rein in some of those uncontrollable desires, because Saturn may say, okay, Venus, come back. Don't run away so fast.
Yeah, like good idea, but let's only do a portion of that.
Yeah.
You know, or let's take it longer. We're gonna think about this on a longer timeline. And then this is the night that you and I do the chatting with the stars.
Yeah.
And so this is, we're doing it from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So it's a little bit, it's that evening time. And this is Chicago time. Alex put the link up. And we did sell out last month, but it really is a good time for having two astrologers. I don't really know anybody else that does this. Two astrologers looking at your question on your chart on Zoom. And sometimes it's just you and I talking about the person sitting over there in the Zoom room, where you're just, eavesdropping on what two astrologers are saying about your chart, which is kind of interesting. Next day, Friday the 15th.
This is a great day. How can you not love Sun trine Jupiter?
Yep. It's like, yeah, go on.
Oh, well, and because, so here's the Sun in Libra. It already wants to feel comfy, cozy, win-win. Trine Jupiter, even though it's retrograde, still Sun trine Jupiter is, you feel great. You have big ideas. With Jupiter retrograde, okay, well, maybe go back to a previous big idea and see what you think about it. But whatever it is, you should feel really great about it, because Jupiter trine this, Sun trine Jupiter, that relationship just has all the good feels.
I like this day too. It's not my favorite day of the month, nor is it yours, but whenever we get the sun making a trine to an outer planet, this outer planet is moving in the other direction momentarily. So we know that Venus or Jupiter is retrograde. He is getting ready to move forward. So it's our signal, and we can hear the signal boop, boop in the air. And actually in 3 days time, Jupiter does make his direct movement. So to me, this is like getting ready to hop on the train. The peace train, please. So just real quick, now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. Lyrics from the peace train. But we're getting ready to get on. We're not on yet. We're anticipation to getting on. Okay, I really like this day.
Yeah.
Saturday, the 16th, we have this Mercury retrograde making a sextile to this Venus. And to me, this is a almost. Does anybody remember the Jane Fonda classes that she had an almost step where you would put all your energy forward and then like stop? So it's called almost. But this is the first day of the 7-day intention challenge. This is a Saturday, the 16th. We'll put another link in here. Sign up, it's free. But it makes me think that something you said or something you wrote that is going to print or going live may need a little bit of tweak or a little bit of quick edits here. because the Venus in rules Libra, where Mercury is retrograding. So she just might want, hey, Mercury, how about a color change? Or hey, Mercury, how about a font change? Something that to me says almost ready, not quite.
And for me, this is a good day to tell friends that you've had for a long time, and family how much you love them.
I love you, everybody.
Yeah. Mercury's in Libra, and it's like wants to be nice, but take the opportunity to express peace, love, beauty.
I like peace.
With words.
Sunday, yeah, with words. Sunday, the 17th. This is Sun square Pluto. Now remember, Pluto's direct, and this to me is a takeoff, but it's best to be on your own today, because watch power plays, watch flipping of hair, or your hand of something. It's a square, so there's could be a confrontation that is really not necessary. It's only going to last a day.
Well, but at the same time, don't back down from it. Stand in your power.
Mm-hmm.
Pluto is about power. The sun is you. And it's like, okay, well, you want to pick a fight? Okay, I can go there. I'm not going to just let you run over me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, don't use that whatever, or, like, oh, please, stop. Yeah, be more, I don't know about assertive, but like you said, stand in your power. I like that. I like it a lot. On Monday, ding, 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 ding. Yay. This is our favorite day, Monday, the 18th, the Jupiter stations direct. And to me, this is all aboard the peace train. We're going to ride on. This just makes me feel that we're going to take some time and thrust and trust to begin to feel this forward momentum. And hey, we are on, we got on, and we can live and feel at home here as a collective together.
And but the reason it's our favorite day is that there's three big things happening. Jupiter turns direct, Mercury turns direct, and Mars is trine Jupiter all together, which is just it's the two planets that turn direct that are the big thing for me that make this my favorite day. It's like, oh, good, that's over.
It's like now it could be cleanup. It could be, like we had something to prepare for, and we kind of might have made, we didn't have the energy or something to clean up the mess or whatever that is. It's now like, you know what, we got to put things into order. We're good now. Let's go. We're moving forward.
Yeah. And that's the part with Mars trine Jupiter that says, okay, let's do it. Go for it. And bigger is better.
Yeah.
So
and
that's why I like this day. It's a scraping away of anything that might be holding you back, and you really get to just boom, do it.
To me, this also means like it promises change, but because Mars wants to speed fast, he's in a detriment placement of Libra. He has to bring other people along, so he can't move as fast. But the trine to Jupiter that's just moved direct that day earlier, that Jupiter hasn't started moving yet. So to me is like, yes, everybody get on. We're going to start moving here in a minute. So it might take a minute to it's almost like you're pointing in the right direction, but it might take a little bit to chug, 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 right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it promises to be good this period because it favors change. It says, okay, we're on the peace train. Where is it taking us? Like we can't go fast enough. but we'll find out here in a minute, or at the third or fourth week, that we have to make some stops along the way on this peace train, which actually is the title of my retreat in Mexico.
The peace train.
The peace train. Nobody knows it yet, so don't tell anybody, Susan. All right. Next week. Let's go on to the next week. You want to start this?
No, 2 days later, the full moon.
Oh shoot, I'm over here. Go on. Yeah.
20th.
Yep.
And the 20th, the full moon in Aries. This is kind of a dicey full moon. And even though, 2 days before we're all like, yay, let's go, let's get the trains moving, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, the first thing that you come up against is a full moon in Aries, that where you're looking at the robbers with the guns on their horses running behind the train, ready to hijack it. Because full moon in Aries is that you can see your enemies clearly. The full moon, bright light on Mars type energy. Whoa.
This is my conflict day number 1. And to me, this is because there sits the Mars, right? Mars is with the sun. And now the moon is opposite, and moon is in Aries, where Mars wants to be, but Mars is not. It's over here. And to me, this is fight, flight, freeze, or work it out. But it's going to be one of those things. I'm not a fan of this one.
Yeah. Difficult full moon, I think.
Yeah. And by the way, this happens at 27 degrees of Aries, and this is at 9:57 a.m. Chicago time. All right, Thursday, the 21st. And this is Mars making a square to Pluto. Oh, okay. Square with the 2 biggest power planets in the universe.
Well, the 2 biggest nasty power planets.
Excuse me, I meant, yes, thank you for clarifying, because that's what I meant. Yeah.
So nasty squares up against nasty. So just stay out of the way. Avoid danger.
Yeah, this is
right after the full moon, so which is already, kind of dangerous anyway, being in Aries, ruled by Mars. So,
yeah, to me, this is my hint for the day. It's like the man in charge wins. Not much, but no one feels like losing. So it kind of feels like, what's at stake? What are they fighting over? Remember the orders, stand down. You're getting the orders from, your superior. And what it is your awareness, your inner consciousness is saying, stand down, because there are other ways to deal with this. And maybe not just this way, this day.
mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's almost not worth the fight here, not on this day. Like, we can see what it is. No one's going to win, or the man in charge is going to win. Right? And this is Pluto.
Direct.
Mars has a hiccup and is kind of ignored in the sign of his detriment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now the next day, Friday the 22nd, is when the sun moves into Scorpio. And so Scorpio, spooky. So I'm just like, okay, well, this is when it's time to break out the Halloween costumes and the decorations. Let's have fun.
Are you going to be a witch again? Because you are the witch.
I am, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I have the most witch. My costume stash is mostly witch.
Okay. We know where to go to borrow witch costumes. Yeah, sun in Scorpio. Hey, love that sun is out of Libra, where he's in his fall, but he does go into the darky, muddy, murky waters of below the surface kind of water Scorpio, the darkness scary. But persistence, I mean, there's a lot of persistence and willpower here in Scorpio. So it can give you swimming strength. You like what I did there? Swimming strength in a water sign. Yeah.
Yeah. And certainly, all you Sun and Scorpios know that you can be persistent, if not to the point of obsessive. So you're able to research like nobody's business. So that's the energy that comes in when the Sun moves into Scorpio.
All right, Tuesday, the 26th. This is Venus squaring Neptune. So I titled this, I want to believe it, but I want to believe you for real. I want to believe you. This feeling of like, it's a square. So you got to wait a few days and relook at this proposition, this opportunity, this relationship, whatever, because you'll have more information in the next day or two. And then you can believe all you hear from your loved ones. So this could show up in the world as some things might not be really right in the world on this day.
Yeah. And Venus, money, Neptune dissolving in a square, money dissolves, Venus in hard aspect with Neptune. I always get, I get a little red flag that comes up that says money could go away. So protect your investments going into this day and see what happens.
So piggybacking on that thought, if somebody comes and says, hey, let's go. Hey, I've got a great idea for you. Let's why don't you invest in my plan? Right? You're like, hold off. I need to get some more information.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
You can't really believe everything you hear on this day.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, the 28th. This is my favorite day, number 2. And this is Venus making a sextile to Jupiter. And this is, if like, I'm like, can I have 2 favorite days? If I'm granted, and they both look at each other, Venus and Jupiter, and said, sure, take it. Go ahead. You can have two favorite days of the month, because this is the 2 benefics being together in a really nice sextile in a 60-degree aspect that's saying, hey, there's kind of like a reception here. It sounds like a party, because literally Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, where Venus is sitting. So Jupiter is welcoming Venus into Jupiter's domicile. This is called a reception. So that's why it's like, are we planning a party? It's a reception. So it's time to enjoy. I really like this day.
Yeah. And with Venus out of bounds, sextiling Jupiter.
I really like this day.
Yeah, my note is like, go wild and having a great time. So if you're having a Halloween party, Thursday, the 28th.
Yeah, you're overdoing your costume.
Yeah, take Friday off.
Then we get to, how are we on time? Let's see. You were doing good. Saturday, the 30th. This is my conflict day, number 2. And there are 2 separate energies going on here on this day. So we start the day as my conflict day, number 2, and we end this day as my astro interesting day, number 2. Can everybody follow this? So yeah, the Sun to the square of the Saturn, it's like we are slowing down. We are making sure we have the proper tools. Share your resources now so that these 2 planets will be in honor. Get hard projects, difficult things done today. You're going to have the wherewithal to work, but keeping your head down. But you might also be tired faster. So it may be get what you need to get the first thing on your list done on this day, kind of by yourself, right? Sun square Saturn. You might, and then kick off early. It's a Saturday. Oh, it's a Saturday. So maybe you're doing work. Maybe you're getting your summer furniture into hiding.
After you listen to us in costume from 10 to 11 about November's outlook. But yes, Sun Square Saturn is about just overwhelmed with the tasks at hand. But help is on the way. Mars moves into Scorpio, which it rules, while we'll be in our November outlook. So take a note. There might be, oh no, sorry, 9:21 a.m. I've got it in Eastern time in my calendar. Before we start, right before we start, right. 9:21, and we start at 10. So Mars will already be in Scorpio. So strong, the ability to, you'll probably pick up some energy.
Oh,
big time.
I agree. I did it, since we have a little bit more time, I did a little tutorial on this Mars going into the first degree of his sign, Scorpio, and I call this incredible strength. And I want to make an interesting comment here, that it's the only planet, like the only planet that is able to be in domicile, triplicity lord, bound lord, and face lord all at the same time. It's the only planet that can do this if we're looking at essential and accidental dignities, that until, and it stays this way until November 9th. So this is about 10-day period when it has authority and is in control. It's in harmony with his tribe. He is the manager and knows how to get things done. And he wears fine clothing or proper clothing and the correct ornamentations to get whatever he needs to get done. So yeah, this is my Astro Interesting Day part 2.
Mm-hmm. So, and those things you mentioned are all ancient astrologer.
Yeah, this is the Hellenistic astrology and traditional astrology that I look at. So I found this very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this will be some talisman times around here. Yeah. Very strong, powerful Mars energy that really needs to cut proper pruning for a better growth down the road.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, in Scorpio, this is Mars in Scorpio. Once again, I always like to look at it as a, because I have Mars in Scorpio natally, as the ability to have energy to be relentless in finding the answer. To, you know, Scorpio likes to dig deep. And so here's this Mars energy that just gives you the strength and energy to move that rock over here, find the next one, move that out of the way, and finally get down to the very bottom where you go, aha, that's what it is.
Incredible perseverance,
yeah.
Right? And willpower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so anything else about that? Because we go into our final day of the month.
No,
Halloween. Halloween. Sunday the 31st is the Mercury is now, remember, direct. Mercury is stationed direct in its trine now, the third and final time of Jupiter. So it's Mercury trine Jupiter, both are direct now. So it's like, finish this story, finish this, whatever Mercury and Jupiter have been trying to plan to get big, to get announcements that you mentioned, that megaphone.
Yeah.
It's like, do this again, make your statement loud and bold. Now it's perfected. It feels like now you figured out your crowd, your message, your niche. It's now good to move forward with this message that you had. The first time they met up was September 20th go back into your calendar, which if you don't put together a calendar, I do. It's so important. Even if you just do it on your paper or pencil calendar, what occurred on that day. If you journal, even better, because you'll have more of that feeling of what was occurring and what your take was on it. But if you go back to the September 20th date was the first time these met up. When Mercury was forward, Jupiter was retrograde. The second time they met up was October 3rd, when they're both retrograde. And this is the final time when they're both direct. So we can almost feel that like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. So whatever you were introducing in the end of September, you can kind of review that again, put out the little feeler October 3rd, and then at the very end of the month, really go for it.
Yeah, sometimes, in business or in, I guess it's marketing or sales, it's like, how many taps do you need to make somebody to turn, to notice? And I think when I was studying that, when I had my own big business years ago, was like, if you can reach their like billboard size type thing 7 times and hear it on the radio or hear it on the news or hear it from a friend, whatever those 7 times are, it's like, oh, that's turned my head. I keep hearing that. So you got 3 times here. So make it loud and bold.
Yeah. And Jupiter helps you do that easily.
So, Alex, are you proud of us? We made it 4 minutes beforehand. And I guess we could ask anybody questions. If you want to put something in the chat box, we can answer that.
Tell about your shirt, Sandy.
Oh, well, hold on a second. Keep talking.
Sandy's got like the coolest shirt.
So I was gifted this shirt. This is from Hawaii. And this is the back of it. And I wanted to wear this backwards, so that you can see how cool that is. But by the time we get to the end of the month and we have 4 planets moving direct, I want to put the shirt on the correct way and put it on straight. So now, moving forward. So
yeah.
that was my retrograde shirt program that I had set for you guys. There's Sherry's asked for something.
Sherry wants to know if my presentation will be available for purchase by itself. I'm not sure. I think you can sign up for the symposium day, by day, maybe, not the whole thing. My guess is that it would be ultimately on the website.
I think, and I don't know, but typically, and you're not given that, right, to put on your website to sell at a later date.
No, I don't think so.
So if you don't see her live, which is fine, right? But it may be where you can go in after it's recorded and buy one lecture.
Which is typically how these conferences run, is that you can buy them one-off.
And you'll ask and you'll get back to them next month.
Yeah.
Is that a good question? Is that a good answer, Sharon?
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Because it is good information to have, and we can put a link in if it's available to purchase.
Yeah.
When we get to our next monthly. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? If not, hi Jane, happy October. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be. Someday it's going to come. I want to cry because I'm on the edge of darkness. There rides the peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, take me home again. Now I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be. Something good has begun. I believe in that, Miss. I'm a Pisces. I believe in that.
How hippie.
How hippie of me. But I believe in it. And then we come down here as humanoids, and there's all this other stuff going on that we have to deal with on a daily, on an hourly. So, if there's no other questions here, really, I honor all of you. I see you. I know that we've been in a really, crunchy time. We are doing our individual bests. And I applaud you all for that. I really do. And you too, Susan.
Thanks. And so remember, the energy makes a big shift in mid-October when 4 planets go direct. So.
All right. See you. We're right on time.
All right.
Bye, everybody. Happy October. See you in your finest witch costume. Let's do witch. Let's do theme of witch. And you can put different witch hats on all through the hour, since you have such a
I have several. True.
array of them.
Uh-oh.
All right, share this. And you
To
guys,
share.
It's your favorite song.
To share the recording on your Facebook page.
Yeah, if you like what we do, and share this with your friends. I mean, it's good information, I think, if you can use it properly and use it as an awareness. But, we love everybody, and we want more everybody's.
Yeah.
So share. And I love you too, Shelley and Sherry. So see you next month.
Bye-bye.
Sign up for the 7-day challenge. I'll see you there.
Ta-ta.